Hey, I'm Drew Joshi, president of SocialRockfish.
I'm Nick Ochoa, president of MingleMedia.
Okay, guys. Yeah. So, what did you find most valuable out of this workshop?
Do you want to go with that?
Yeah, I really liked that it got you thinking differently, and that's cliche, but it really opened up a different side of looking into yourself as opposed to this kind of basic, real world, very process, order-driven society, which can stress me out, and then to think of it more as goals, life expectations was good.
Yeah, I think that's how it started with me. I looked at it as this is something that's going to help me kind of organize, structure, schedule. And when I got to doing it, I never really thought about that. I never thought about the goal, the structure, the schedule. But then once I came to my board, it came back to the order, structure, and schedule. Like I saw it in the board, although I wasn't thinking about it, although that was the whole reason I was here, you know? So
Exactly.
it was kind of cool. It kind of made a lot of sense. Very, very unorthodox way, out of the box type of way, you know what I mean? And I think it's really beneficial.
What was there anything that surprised you about your board? Or about something that came up in our conversation about your board that you wouldn't have thought of otherwise?
Again, it was just very unorthodox. You know, I think there's a lot of thoughts in people. You have a lot of thoughts in your head, and when you put them out, you don't really know how to display them. And although you're just cutting things out, it's funny how something that you can cut out can end up having some sort of meaning to you just because you're looking for something in it, and then how you can piece all of that together and kind of make sense of something specific in your mind that you might be thinking, or maybe you had a goal for the last 3 years, but you see how things kind of coordinate around it, you know what I mean? With this image right here, for me, you know, we spoke about this, but it was like I saw a lot of experimentation with the hands, and it was like, okay, well, I'm kind of got a lot of things in my hands right now, and I'm trying to experiment with what I'm working on, and then it was like a vision of what I saw, but yet I carried the world on my shoulders, or my head for this matter, you know what I mean? Then we had like this, a lot of faces. I think Nick mentioned that, you know what I mean? A lot of faces, and it was like, who are all these people?
A lot of people.
Yeah, like who are all these people? And then I think about my life, and I'm like, do I work with a lot of people, and do I speak to a lot of people, and does my life involve a lot of people? Yeah, it really does. Like, so that's kind of cool, you know? And then it's like, I had this evil looking face, like looking down at me, or something. I don't know. Very, very cool, and then there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. Let's see what Nick's got, you know?
For me, what I got out of it? What was the question?
Oh, no, it was anything that surprised you about your board, or anything that came through in our conversation about your board that was insightful, something you may have not seen before.
What surprised me is I came in really with kind of, I had the canvas of what I wanted the board to be in my mind, and I was even searching for images just to fulfill that, and I only came up with a couple things, a couple pieces that it was just blank. And then what surprised me really was the filling it in and looking outside of what I already had in mind and into the pages just for things to fill the pages, and then what that became was really cool, and the story it kind of tells and flows is really interesting. And I think it's really cool to see two totally different ways of like how the flow broke down, two different ways of thinking, two different points in our lives, whatever it may be. But for me, what really caught me was like this thing in the center, whatever it is. It's the nucleus. I think you said it's like a heart. It's
the processing power to all of
it's
this.
creating the order for everything
like
else.
Like a filter almost, you know what I mean? You throw something in there and it shakes it up and spits something else out. You know what I mean?
That's like this.
Yeah.
It comes in messy, leaves in better. But that was one thing that really stood out to me, but more so just the fact when you're sitting there for an hour and a half, whatever it is, you just gotta fill the pages. And what that becomes is something. And just that whole fact that happens is really cool and insightful.
I think people relate to it. Like, they will definitely find something that they can relate to and take something away
It's
from
very
it.
personal.
Yeah.
It's very personal and individualized. It tells a story.
I don't have a lot of time. You know what I mean? So this, for me to do this was like, oh gosh, I'm gonna do this. But you put your mind to doing it. Like, I think there's a personal reward out of it.
Definitely.
Was it worth your time?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, I gained a lot out of it. I enjoyed it.
And you have to think it's at least.
I'll do it again.
It's a constant reminder every day of a vision that you have.
Yeah.
And what you get out of it one day may be different than another day, but it's still your vision, and being able to see it, to visualize your vision, is very, very cool and beneficial.
Awesome. Thank you guys.